And so, and this is corroborated by what anthropologists are finding out. And so, understanding all of this, it made me really unpack my perception of laziness and how insidious it is that essentially the rich and the wealthy demonize human nature, which is our instinct to chill, to relax. We should be spending our days making music, making art, making inventions, messing around with technology, going swimming, hanging out, kikiing. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And especially in 2025, right? We have the technology that we shouldn't even have to be doing all this hard labor. But instead of them using this technology for us to, get people to not have to work, they use this technology to take people's jobs and screw people, okay? But so it's so wild to me that they took this natural human trait and said, guess what? It's bad. The Protestant work ethic, right? We've heard this term before. This idea that if you're not working all the time, you're doing something wrong. What's that? The line, idle hands are a devil's playground or something like that, right? Meaning if you're not busy, if you're just chilling, that's it. The devil gonna come get you. That now the devil's gonna start making you do bad things. Busy work. This idea that you have to be working all the time, the grind, right? The capitalist grind, right? And so, like I said, I've been unpacking this relationship that I have with laziness because I'm trying to decolonize my mind, and I'm tired of, judging myself based on the values of people that I think are literally deplorable. Okay? The billionaires, the quote unquote elite class, right? People like that. These are people that I don't like. These are people that I find to be problematic. And why am I taking their values and using them to judge myself? That doesn't make any sense. And so I've been working on checking myself. Every time I see myself, catch myself being like, oh man, you spent the whole day laying on the couch. Well, maybe it's because I needed to lay on the couch. Maybe I'm tired. Have we thought about that? Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I need to rest. And that's another aspect of this whole laziness situation, the demonization of resting. The idea that resting is a bad thing. We should be able to rest and not feel guilty about taking time off. And we shouldn't even have to take time off because our lives should not be revolving around essentially busy work. And it's so wild. The irony of this all is that the people who invented the concept of laziness, right? This elite 1% class, those motherfuckers don't even work. They are the leisure class. So these motherfuckers be chilling all day, every day, letting their stocks and bonds make them money, having y'all slave in their factories, in their stores, in their companies, and they chill and they just let their money appreciate. And then they turn around and they tell you you're lazy because you don't want to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week in their factory, in their cubicle, in their business. Ain't that a bitch? These people, the people who are not only are they not working, but that class, it's looked down upon if you work. If you know anything, especially about like European society, especially, back in the day, but even today, aristocrats, nobility, royalty, it was looked down upon to work. They would be like, what do you mean so-and-so is working? Ew. That was the mentality, and that still is the mentality. These elite people, they're not working. Their money is working for them. They're in the stock market, this fantastical made-up world where numbers go up and down, and somehow that translates to them getting richer. They have employees doing all the hard work. They have assistants doing all the hard work. They have nannies and housekeepers and chefs doing all their hard work while they tell all of us that we need to be Production over everything, right? Produce more, growth, never ending growth, work. Elon Musk himself, that billionaire, had the nerve to come out and talk about how, we should be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. The man who's literally on ketamine, riding around, on his $1 billion Cybertruck, high as fuck, telling the rest of us that we need to be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. It's so insidious. Not only are they demonizing our natural instincts, they're demonizing human nature. It reminds me of the concept of original sin. The Catholic concept, the idea that you're born with sin. You come in a problem. I mean, the way they get into our heads, and make us think that our natural being, the way that we are, is wrong. And that we should aspire to be like them. These demons who are out here. Jeff Bezos just had a $56 million wedding. But he makes his employees at Amazon pee in bottles so they don't get up to go to the bathroom. He doesn't let them have air conditioning unless they fall out and complain. But he had a $56 million wedding in Venice. And those are the ideals we're supposed to aspire to. And those are the people who are telling us that we're lazy. The insidiousness of it, like I said, it makes me think of the concept of original sin. This idea that we come in broken and that we have to fix ourselves and aspire to something greater. The greater being, be like this rich white man who's exploiting all of us, using and abusing all of us. It's so wild.